Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. My name's Steve and this is a 5-minute review of The Dark Tower from 2017. The film is an adaptation of the Stephen King novels with the same name. However, that is a series of 7 books and this was compressed down into a 1.5-hour film. There was talk that The Dark Tower was also good to be adapted for a TV series, but that doesn't seem to have appeared, and given the performance of the film, which wasn't very well received at the cinema, it now seems unlikely to go ahead. The film was written by Akiva Goldsmith, who is well renowned and has written some amazing screenplays over the years, and it also has an all-star cast with the likes of Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, Dennis Haysbert, Jackie Earle Haley and Katheryn Winnick. So from a cast point of view, it really looks like it's going to be a first-class film. I should say that I have read some of the Dark Tower novels, but not all of them. So I was a little wary as well going into this to see how they're going to set it up, and perhaps it was going to be the first film of several in a series to create a franchise, because those seem to be the biggest and most popular things at the cinema these days. However, what they actually created was a film that is relatively self-contained and it wraps up within the 90-odd minutes or thereabouts runtime. On the whole, this film has been quite heavily panned, and to be honest, I don't think that's really fair. If you weren't aware that the material is based upon a series of books and you didn't even know that it was originally created by Stephen King, you might just view this as a sort of interesting sci-fi, slightly magical, old-school film which has echoes of things like The Never-Ending Story or The Princess Bride in some ways. Because you've got these larger-than-life characters that cross over into the real world and vice versa. Setting all of that stuff aside, the fact that it's to do with Stephen King's novels and so on, and if you view the film purely as an entity by itself, then overall it's not that bad. I was very aware that they were merely scratching at the surface of the content and they would hint at little things here and there and give nods to some of the mythology and also the larger world building that has gone into the novels. However, even knowing all of that, the film was really quite enjoyable. Idris Elba is fantastic in the role of Roland the Gunslinger. Tom Taylor in the role of Jake, who's this young boy troubled by visions of strange places and strange people. And of course, in the modern world, his parents just believe that he has problems, mental health problems, and they're trying to get him to see a specialist. He's always acting out, so they think it's something else that's at play, and they're looking at medication and specialist school to get him healthy. But of course, that isn't the case at all. He's dreaming of other worlds, he's drawing them, he's having visions, he's seeing people on the street from the corner of his eye that just don't look right. And on the surface you might just think, oh well, perhaps he is schizophrenic, but of course he isn't. So the fear and paranoia that Jake is suffering is done really, really well within this film, and once he crosses over and meets Idris Elba and realises that he's not crazy, it becomes quite an enjoyable action romp. We get to spend time in one of the other worlds, the two of them going on a short adventure. Matthew McConaughey moves back and forth between the different worlds and he's quite terrifying as the Man in Black, although it was slightly distracting to find out his real name was Walter, which took away some of the threat, I feel. It's not quite on par with someone like Lord Voldemort, although his power levels are pretty much right up there. So as a kind of gentle Sunday night action film where you just want something that's not going to challenge you too much and yet is enjoyable with some great action scenes, incredible special effects, some great alternate worlds that we get to explore with weird creatures, then this is quite a good film. If you're looking for a pure adaptation of the material, then you're not going to get that at all, and you may as well leave all of those ideas at the door. If anything, coming away from the film, it merely made me want to go back and read the rest of the novels and start over from the beginning, because I want to spend more time with these characters, find out more about the mythology and the worlds. So it really worked for me in that way again, because it's rekindled my passion for the Stephen King novels. So because of all of that, I'm going to give the film 3 out of 5. It's definitely worth seeing, it's quite enjoyable, it's a good action romp, especially if you've never read any of the books before or not familiar with any of the previous material that it's based upon. So, have you seen The Dark Tower? If so, what did you think? Get in touch with us. You can email us, you can come onto the Facebook group, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.